What I wish I knew about the escalating conflict in the Middle East. The situation is dire and continues to worsen with each passing day. The region has been a hotspot for decades, but recent events have taken the violence and instability to unprecedented levels. The roots of this conflict are deep and complex, involving historical grievances, territorial disputes, and religious tensions. Understanding the full scope of the situation requires delving into the intricate web of alliances, enmities, and geopolitical strategies that define the Middle East. It's worse than you think. The human cost of this conflict is staggering. Families are torn apart, children are growing up in war zones, and entire communities are being displaced. The psychological trauma inflicted on the civilian population is immeasurable. The constant threat of violence has created an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty, making everyday life a struggle for survival. Israel has launched a series of intense airstrikes on Gaza and Lebanon. These strikes are part of a broader military strategy aimed at neutralizing perceived threats and asserting control over contested territories. The use of advanced military technology, including precision-guided munitions and unmanned aerial vehicles, has increased the lethality and reach of these operations. However, the collateral damage is immense, with civilian infrastructure being destroyed and non-combatants bearing the brunt of the violence. In Gaza, a mosque was bombed, tragically killing 25 people, including several children. The destruction of places of worship adds a layer of cultural and spiritual devastation to the physical damage. Mosques are not just religious centers, they are community hubs where people gather for social, educational, and charitable activities. The loss of such a space is a blow to the social fabric of the community, exacerbating the sense of loss and despair. Lebanon wasn't spared either. The conflict has spilled over into neighboring countries, dragging them into the vortex of violence and instability. Strikes targeted Hezbollah positions, causing widespread fear and displacement. Hezbollah, a powerful political and military organization in Lebanon, has been a key player in the region's conflicts. The targeting of its positions has significant implications for Lebanon's internal stability and its relations with neighboring countries. The strikes have led to a surge in displacement, with thousands of families being forced to flee their homes in search of safety. The humanitarian crisis is deepening, with refugee camps swelling and resources becoming increasingly scarce. Schools are closed and thousands are fleeing their homes. The disruption of education is one of the most tragic consequences of this conflict. Children are being deprived of their right to learn and grow in a safe environment. The long-term impact on their development and future prospects is profound. The displacement of families adds another layer of complexity to the crisis as they struggle to find shelter, food, and medical care in an increasingly hostile environment. The political and military leadership in Israel is preparing for a protracted conflict. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu warns of a potential war on 7 fronts, with Iran's involvement looming large. The prospect of a multi-front war is alarming, as it would significantly escalate the scale and intensity of the conflict. Iran's involvement adds a regional dimension to the crisis, with potential repercussions for the broader Middle East and beyond. The international community is closely monitoring the situation, aware that any miscalculation could lead to a wider conflagration. The international community is on edge, with global protests calling for peace and an end to the violence. The conflict has sparked a wave of solidarity and activism around the world. People are taking to the streets to demand an end to the bloodshed and to call for a peaceful resolution to the crisis. The voices of ordinary citizens are being amplified through social media and other platforms, creating a global movement for peace and justice. However, achieving a lasting solution will require concerted effort from all stakeholders, including governments, international organizations, and civil society. The media plays a crucial role in shaping public perception of the conflict. Journalists on the ground are risking their lives to bring us the latest updates and to shed light on the human stories behind the headlines. Their work is essential in holding all parties accountable and in providing a nuanced understanding of the situation. This is a rapidly developing story. Stay tuned for more updates on the escalating conflict in the Middle East. As the situation evolves, it is important to stay informed and to support efforts aimed at achieving peace and stability in the region.